I never believed in ghosts or the supernatural, but that all changed when I found the diary. I was home alone for the week, and I decided to use the time to do some much-needed cleaning. I was going through the attic when I found a dusty old diary locked with a key. I couldn't resist the temptation to open it and see what was inside. Day 1, I found this old diary in the attic while I was looking for some holiday decorations. It's bound in leather and has a lock on it, but the key was still inside. I couldn't resist the temptation to open it and see what was inside. The first few pages were filled with mundane details about someone's daily life, but as I kept reading, the entries became more and more disturbing. The writer seemed to be struggling with some kind of darkness, both figuratively and literally. They talked about shadows that seemed to move on their own and whispers in the night. I tried to shake off the feeling of unease and chalked it up to an overactive imagination, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me. I called my friend, Sarah, to tell her about the diary. She said, "Oh my God, you should throw it away as soon as possible. It's probably cursed or something." I replied, "I know it sounds crazy, but I can't help but feel like there's something important in this diary. I need to keep reading." Sarah warned me, "Be careful. If you feel like something is wrong, just get rid of it. Don't let it consume you." I knew she was right, but I couldn't shake the feeling that the diary held the answers I was looking for. Little did I know, it would lead me down a path of horror and darkness from which there was no return. Day 2, I couldn't sleep last night. I felt like something was watching me. I kept thinking about the diary, and I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this than just a random collection of thoughts. So, I decided to spend the day trying to find out more about the diary. I remembered that my grandmother had a box of old books and papers. I went to her attic and started looking through it. To my surprise, I found another diary. This one looked even older than the first one. This diary belonged to a woman named Emily, who lived in the same house I am living in now. She wrote, "I can feel it watching me, following me. I try to ignore it, but it's always there, lurking in the shadows. I don't know what it wants, but I can feel its presence, and it fills me with dread. I can't escape it, no matter how hard I try. I fear for my sanity, and I fear for my life." I couldn't believe what I was reading. It was like the diary was talking to me, and I felt a strange connection to the woman who had written it. I called Sarah again and told her about the diary I found in my grandmother's attic. But Sarah said, "I really think you should stop reading these diaries. They're not good for you." But I couldn't stop. I felt like I was getting closer to the truth, and I needed to know what it was. Day 3, I woke up this morning feeling like I hadn't slept at all. I had nightmares about shadows and whispers, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me. I went back to the attic and found another diary. This one belonged to a man named John who lived in this house in the 1920s. He wrote, "I can't explain the strange occurrences in this house. Doors open and close on their own. Shadows move in the corners of my eyes. I've heard whispers in the night, like a voice calling my name. I fear that something is in this house with me, and I fear for my sanity." I couldn't believe what I was reading. It was like these diaries were all connected, and I was drawn deeper into the mystery. I called Sarah again and told her what I had found, but she didn't answer. I tried to call her again, but it went straight to voicemail. Day 4, I woke up this morning to find that all the doors and windows in the house were locked from the outside. I couldn't understand how it happened, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something was in the house with me. I searched the house, but I found nothing. But then I heard a faint whispering, like a voice calling my name. I followed the sound and found myself in the attic, and there I found another diary. This one was different. It had no name, no date, just a title, "Do Not Open." I couldn't resist the temptation. I opened it and found the most disturbing thing I have ever seen. It was a warning. "You should have left it alone. The darkness has consumed us all, and now it will consume you too. Leave this house and never look back, or you will be consumed too." As I read the last words in the diary, I felt something grab me from behind. I turned around to face my attacker, but there was nothing there. The darkness consumed me, and I was gone. I don't know how much time has passed since I was consumed by the darkness. I can't move, I can't speak. All I can do is think, and all I can think about is the voice in my head.
My name is John, and I am the leader of a group of my closest friends, Emily, Michael, Amanda, and Ryan. We all have known each other since high school and have been through many experiences together. Emily is the adventurous one, always looking for a thrill and eager to explore new places. Michael is the joker of the group, always cracking jokes and making us laugh. Amanda is the level-headed one, always thinking things through and making sure we stay safe. Ryan is the quiet one, always observing and taking in the scenery. We had been planning this camping trip for weeks, and I was excited to get away from the city and into nature. One of the group members, Emily, had found a spot on a map that she believed would be the perfect place to camp. She had been raving about it for days, and we were all eager to see it for ourselves. As we set up camp, Emily couldn't contain her excitement. "I told you guys, this place is amazing," she exclaimed as she looked around at the beautiful trees and the sparkling lake. I was happy to see my friends enjoying themselves, and I felt proud of myself for organizing this trip. We spent the first day exploring the area, swimming in the lake, and having a picnic on the beach. Michael was cracking jokes and making us laugh. Amanda was taking pictures, and Ryan was observing the nature around us. We all had a great time, and I was looking forward to spending the night in the tents. That night, we sat around the campfire, roasting marshmallows and telling stories. We were all tired from the day's activities, and I had no trouble falling asleep in my tent. I felt at peace, and I thought that everything was going to be fine. I woke up the next morning feeling refreshed and ready for another day of adventure. I couldn't wait to see what the day had in store for us, and I was happy to be spending this time with my friends. I was confident that this camping trip would be a memorable one, and I was excited to see what the future holds. Day 2 started off just as great as the first. We woke up early and decided to go for a hike in the woods. The scenery was beautiful, and we all enjoyed the fresh air and the sound of birds chirping. We came across a waterfall and took some pictures. It was so peaceful and serene. As we were making our way back to the campsite, something caught our attention. We smelled something foul, like rotting meat. We couldn't quite figure out where it was coming from, but it was definitely something that we didn't want to stick around to investigate. When we got back to the campsite, we noticed that some of our belongings had been misplaced and our bags had been opened. We were confused and started to talk about it, but we didn't think that it was anything bad. "Hey, has anyone seen my phone? I can't find it anywhere," Emily asked. "Yeah, my bag has been opened too. Did anyone take anything?" Michael added, "I think it might have been a wild animal. Maybe it was just looking for food," Amanda said, trying to calm us down. "Yeah, I don't think it's anything serious. Let's just put our things back and enjoy the rest of the day," Ryan suggested. We spent the rest of the day fishing and swimming in the lake. We were all having a great time and the foul smell was forgotten. But as the night came and we went to sleep, I started to have bad feelings. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I tried to ignore it and went to sleep, but my mind was racing with thoughts of what could be out there in the woods. Day 3 started off with a bit of a scare. I woke up in the middle of the night to rustling around our tent. I listened carefully and heard the other guys in my group doing the same. We were all wondering what it could be and whether or not we should investigate. "Do you guys hear that? What do you think it is?" I whispered to the group. "It could be a wild animal. I need to pee anyway, so I'll go check it out," Michael said bravely. We all agreed that it would be a good idea to investigate, so we all decided to step out of the tent. As soon as we did, we could hear the mysterious creature run away fast. We were all a little relieved that it wasn't something dangerous, but we were still curious about what it could have been. We decided to check our belongings and found that the raw meats we had stored had been taken. We were confused and started to investigate the area around our campsite. We searched for footprints or any other signs of what could have taken the meats, but we found nothing. We were all a little uneasy about the situation, but we decided to dismiss it and deal with it in the morning. We didn't want to let it ruin our camping trip, so we went back to our tent and tried to get some sleep. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was still out there, watching us. In the morning, we all woke up and discussed the situation that had occurred the previous night. Emily, one of the women in our group, said that she wanted us all to leave and go back home. She was scared and didn't want to take any chances. "I don't want to stay here anymore. I have a bad feeling. Let's just pack up and go," Emily said, her voice trembling with fear. But the rest of us, the men, reassured her that everything was going to be okay. We told her that we had come this far and we didn't want to let some rustling in the night ruin our trip. We attempted to do the activities we did in the past 2 days, but we couldn't shake off the feeling that something was watching us. We kept hearing rustling around us and I saw shadows in the corner of my eye. We were all on edge, and it was starting to affect our fun. The men huddled again to talk about the situation. We were all feeling uneasy, but looking at the women having fun, we decided to stay for just one more night. We didn't want to let our fear ruin the trip for everyone. We all agreed to keep an extra eye out and stick together for the rest of the trip. As the day went on, the uneasiness lingered, but we tried to push it aside and enjoy the rest of our camping trip. But deep down, I couldn't help but wonder what was out there in the woods, waiting for us. I lay there, listening to the sound of the woods, trying to relax. But just as I was starting to drift off, I heard the ladies in the next tent screaming, "What's happening? What's going on?" I shouted as I quickly got out of my sleeping bag. The men in our group hurried to help, and as we got to the ladies' tent, we saw a skinny, pale creature about 4 feet tall attempting to open the tent. "Oh my God, what is that thing?" one of the men, Mark, exclaimed. We yelled and attempted to scare the creature away, but it just stared at us with its dark, soulless eyes. Suddenly, the creature unhinged its jaw wide open and let out a deafening scream. "We have to get out of here, now," one of the women, Emily, cried. The creature then turned and ran away into the darkness. But the screaming didn't stop there. We could hear it from all around us. "There's more of them," I said, my heart racing. "We have to go, now." We helped the ladies out of the tent, and we knew we had to run now. "Come on, let's go," I shouted as we made a run for our vehicle. We climbed in, locked the doors, and drove off as fast as we could. "We have to get as far away from here as possible," Mark said, his voice shaking. We didn't stop until we were miles away from that cursed place. We were shaken and scared, but we were alive. "We should have never come here," Emily said, tears streaming down her face. We vowed never to go back to that spot again and to never speak of it again. We were all in agreement. It was a night we would never forget. As we returned home, we did some research and found out that that area was known for people and explorers that went in and were never found again. We were lucky to have escaped with our lives, and we knew it was only a matter of time before those creatures claimed their next victims. We decided to warn others not to venture into that cursed place and to leave it be forever.